It is the go-home show for Battleground as SmackDown rolls in with a epic tag team main event. Women's action, a patriotic promo from John Cena, and the Punjabi Prison arrives on SmackDown Live. We're going to cover all this and so much more on this week's edition of the SmackDown Rebound. Hello everybody, my name is Connor, aka OKAYFABE, your official SmackDown video correspondent for One Wrestling and OneWrestlingCom's videos YouTube channel. And thank you guys for tuning back into the SmackDown Rebound. Of course, we're covering everything and anything pertaining to SmackDown Live. Of course, we're covering the results from July the 18th, 2017. I want to take this time once again to thank you guys for coming back and checking things out right here on One Wrestling and One Wrestling Video. If you guys haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you head over to theonewrestling.com. And of course, folks, love to hear your thoughts on this week's SmackDown Live as we head towards the epic Battleground pay-per-view, the last SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view before SummerSlam, the biggest party of the summer next month. Of course, this Sunday live on the WWE Network. It should be a very fun, intriguing show. So let us know your thoughts again, guys, down in the comment section below. Hit that like button. Of course, make sure you follow myself and the entire OneWrestling.com family on social media. All the links are provided in the description, including myself at OKAYFABE, Big Ray Show, of course, the Big Slam Nation, of course, the legendary, the iconic Mr. Bill Apter at Apter One Wrestling. Make sure you guys check it out. And let's get right into the review. Whoa! Wait a second. One thing I need to say this. First and foremost, I want to take this time to apologize to all you guys here at One Wrestling that I have not been able to upload my SmackDown rebounds lately. With the holiday season of the 4th of July, family, sickness, and just a whole lot of craziness going on, I wasn't able to upload the SmackDown rebound as frequently as I'd like to have, so I apologize. I also want to take this time to thank you guys because now, as of, I believe this week, or if not next, will be the 1-year anniversary of this particular show on One Wrestling Video. So I appreciate you guys' continued love and support for checking out this video, checking out the channel, and we are so dangerously close to 20,000 subscribers on the One Wrestling Video YouTube channel. And hopefully we can get you guys with all your continued love and support. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. But again, I apologize I haven't been here as frequently as I'd like to have. But we're going to get back in the saddle of things and let's break down SmackDown this week. So we actually kick things off with the Punjabi Prison. Yes, the modern day Maharaja comes out with, of course, the Sin Brothers, who come into the ring and actually explain what the rules are for a Punjabi Prison match. And actually, it's a little more complicated than I thought. So basically, there are 2 levels of Punjabi Prison. There is one inside the ring and one around and outside the ring. Essentially, kind of like a steel cage inside of a Hell in a Cell. There's one bamboo structure that is up against the apron, and another one that surrounds outside the ring. Now, according to the Sin Brothers, the way the rules of a Punjabi Prison match work is that the 2 men will be in the ring. In the inside Punjabi Prison, there are 4 doors that have a referee at each door. When a wrestler signals a referee to open up a door, that door remains open for only 60 seconds. Once that 60 seconds is up, that door shuts. It will not open again. Interesting. That's a bit of a time crunch and a little claustrophobic. Afterwards, there are no doors in the outside structure, so they actually have to climb out and over the Punjabi Prison in order to win. So basically, it's kind of like a steel cage inside a Hell in a Cell, but the Hell in a Cell is basically another bigger steel cage out of bamboo. Huh. Okay. But in any case, Jinder Mahal cuts a lengthy promo and talks about Randy Orton and says for the crowd to chant Randy all you want because he's going to take him to the top of the prison and then Kanellis him down to the mat. This Sunday, 2 men enter, but only one modern-day Maharaja will leave victorious. Then starts to cut a promo in Punjabi, and that's when Randy Orton makes his appearance. He basically says that either Mahal is the bravest SOB he's ever met, or he's just not all that bright, choosing to be locked up in the prison with him, making a conscious decision to be caged up like an animal with him, isolating any real advantage he ever had, the Sin Brothers, and the reason he won the title in the first place. Orton basically says that, you know, when he gets inside there's no running, no hiding, and he has nothing left to lose. He took his title, embarrassed him in front of his family, and of course tried to take his dignity and left him for dead. Not so sure much about that last one, but we'll get back to that one. Orton climbs up way half up the Punjabi Prison before continuing, telling Jinder he has everything to lose, being the 50th WWE Champion. He reaches the top of the outer cage this Sunday, and he says this is going to be his view of him as Jinder is he leaves his jacked up ass in the ring, his view right before he takes back what is his, and it'll be his view when Mahal hears the words, "And your new WWE Champion, Randy Orton," realizes his fate, and of course the 2 have an epic stare down to close out the segment. Obviously, Punjabi Prison matches aren't my forte. They're not something I enjoy. There's only been 2 in the history of WWE previously. And we'll just say they weren't the most well-received. We have an opportunity here for Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal to make this a better match. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to happen. And I feel, honestly, that I think WWE is trying to make this feud and make this rivalry very epic by having a third one at a pay-per-view and make it with a bigger feel. But I feel like the Punjabi Prison maybe not be the best one for that. I don't think it's the best necessarily one, especially in terms of the complications with the doors and the second layers. And I feel like it's a little backwards in some regards. I feel like this matchup, while it should, and they have advertised it as being Jinder's, like it's favoriting Jinder, I feel like it's hurting him more than anything, because as Orton just mentioned, it isolates him from the Sin Brothers, who are more or less the reasons that Jinder Mahal is WWE champion. So a little backwards in that, but I'm still hopeful that the matchup is still going to be intriguing this Sunday at Battleground. The first official matchup for SmackDown this week is Jimmy Uso against Kofi Kingston, a very fun matchup. And we saw Xavier Woods versus Jay last week in a very fun match with Woods getting the victory. And this was very similar to that. We haven't seen Kofi in singles action in quite some time since joining the New Day years ago. And so it's kind of a nice little refresher, change of pace to see these men in individual actions. And I've been saying this on my own stuff, that this is going to be one of the more fun rivalries and feuds, because the Usos and New Day are just... They're friends, they're entertaining, they're some of the best tag teams WWE has right now, and I think they're just going to produce magic, both promo-wise and in ring-wise, and I think that the tag team match at Battleground is also going to be proof of that as well, too. The finish comes where Jay does interference from the outside apron, but Kofi Kingston catches Jimmy with a shoulder block, hits a diving crossbody, but Jimmy is able to reverse that over and get the pinfall victory via lateral press. It was a very shocking ending, but at the same time does create the allure and interesting of how's this going to go down. We saw this happen at the last pay-per-view where New Day got screwed out of the tag team titles. Are they going to finally get the victory at Battleground, or are we hoping to see maybe more of the day one being H? I still don't know what that is. Still haven't figured that part out. Urban Dictionary, I just stay away from that one. Anyway, we see a backstage segment with Shane McMahon arguing with the women in the number 1 contenders match at Battleground, the Fatal 5-Way, if you will. And he says he wants to have a big competitive match tonight. The women start bickering amongst each other, but finally, Natalya suggests Charlotte versus Becky. Charlotte quickly dismisses it, saying that you wanted a competitive match. That's not a competitive match. Becky takes a little bit of offense to that, but essentially sets up Charlotte versus Becky later on in the evening. Now, one of the big things that we saw was a massive bombshell dropped on Monday Night Raw, where Kurt Angle revealed that Jason Jordan, one half of American Alpha, a tag team on SmackDown, mind you, was revealed to be Kurt Angle's son. So rather than not only recapping what happened on Raw, we actually got a sit-down interview with Chad Gable, the other half of American Alpha. Chad Gable says he didn't expect this, his life was going to get turned upside down like that, and a little warning would have been a little nice, but Jason called him afterwards, and they were able to smooth everything over. They do everything together on the road, and he knew something was wrong, but Chad understood what he was kind of going through. As to what he meant for Chad Gable, he talks about all they've achieved together and puts Jordan over as a great guy and says he'll support him the same as he always ever has. As far as what's next for Chad Gable, he says he has some ideas but doesn't want to ruin the surprise. This is a new beginning for Jason, but it also has a chance for everyone to see Chad Gable on his own. I'm not going to lie to you guys, I'm very pleased that Chad Gable, it sucks that American Alpha's breaking up. I like them as a tag team. I saw them win the tag team titles in Dallas at WrestleMania 32 weekend against the Revival. It was one of the best matches I've seen of that entire weekend. And seeing them come to SmackDown, winning the SmackDown tag team titles, it was cool to have them on the main roster. And as well as I think they're going to be doing on their own in singles competition, I am a tad bit worried for Chad Gable. I think that from this interview, they're teasing the possibility of having Chad Gable maybe repackage himself, which I don't think they need to do. I don't think they need to repackage Chad Gable, and I'm a little worried personally that this is what this interview is opening the door for that. I don't think he needs to change a darn thing. Doesn't need to change anything whatsoever. I think we should keep Chad Gable as he is, because I think that he is a great American athlete, especially after what we saw in his match from AJ Styles a couple weeks ago on SmackDown. I thought was fantastic. So I just worry that that's gonna that we're going to get that, and we're going to get some sort of weirder variation. So I'm just a little worried, but at the same time, very optimistic, because I think Gable is going to go very, very high, and I hope to see him maybe even as United States champion very soon. But anyway, let's move on to a debut. A new person on SmackDown. Well, I shouldn't say new person, but a debut on SmackDown. Mike Kanellis making his in-ring debut for WWE against Sami Zayn in a very, very interesting match, to say the least. Mike, first I got to say, his outfit, c'est magnifique, with the kisses all over, power of love, and even Maria Kanellis on his tights. I loved that. Him and Sami Zayn going at it in a very intriguing matchup. Sami Zayn more or less getting more dominating control over Mike until he gets in the corner, and Maria actually jumps in the ring, distracting the referee long enough for Mike to hit a devastating shot to Sami Zayn, then having a divine intervention and getting the pinfall victory. I love the match, love the gimmick, love the outfit, love the attire, love the psychology, see, there's a comment, it's a bad joke. The only thing that I really wasn't a big fan of personally was the fact that this happened on SmackDown. I kind of wish we saw this happen at Battleground, because I feel like it would have been a bigger deal for Mike to get the debut here. But other than that, loved everything about this. Love, the power of love. Speaking of love, well, I shouldn't say speaking of love, but how about love for our country? John Cena out next to promote the flag match for this coming Sunday's Battleground against Rusev. I won't go into too much detail going over his promo, but John Cena, I thought, did a very good job of speaking to the patriotic nature of this match, of how he plans to bring the American flag over and raise it high, and he also reiterating and recapping how America has been through so many bad times and tragic moments, but yet the flag flew high, and he promises that this Sunday at Battleground the same will happen. The flag will fly high. Rusev didn't think so, however, as Rusev blindsides John Cena, puts him in the Accolade. He keeps the Accolade on despite the fact that John Cena not once but twice attempted to stand and lift Rusev up on his shoulders, but unfortunately was to no avail, as Cena is left out cold. Rusev then takes the Bulgarian flag, waves it high and waves it proud, stands it in the stand that is up at the entrance ramp, which apparently is part of the rules for the flag match, and the visualization is set for Sunday. I thought this was a great way to kind of build up the match even further for Battleground, because I felt like there wasn't enough yet for Rusev and Cena. I felt like it was just missing a little something, a little oomph to get us to the pay-per-view, and I think this was a fantastic way to do so. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair had a tremendous matchup for women's wrestling for SmackDown Live. While it wasn't some of the best matches I've seen for the women's division on SmackDown Live, I think it was definitely one of the better ones we've seen in a while. Both women, I thought, brought the best out in either one of them, and it was just very surprising to see Becky Lynch actually getting the submission victory over Charlotte Flair with a disarm her, mainly because I was expecting some sort of, shady interference from Tamina, Lana, or even Natalya, who was doing commentary at ringside, but luckily to no avail until after the match. Of course, all three women then jump in the ring and attack both of the baby faces. Natalya actually trying to put Tamina in a sharpshooter of all things. Lana taking her off of there, only for Natalya to turn around to a boot from Tamina to once again strengthen the relationship between Lana and Tamina. It's going to be interesting to see how things go down this Sunday when the #1 contenders match for the SmackDown Women's Championship, how that's going to play out this Sunday at Battleground. So I'm curious to see how things go about. We see the Fashion X-Files, one of my favorite parts, and with Breezango on SmackDown Live. I love the Fashion Files. They're my favorite thing on SmackDown. One of my favorite things on SmackDown. And very entertaining. They basically do a lot of tomfoolery as they do. And I'm not going to spoil too much for you guys, but we'll find out that apparently we will find out who is responsible for the attacks this Sunday at Battleground. Speaking of Tag Team Rivalry, main event time, AJ Styles and Nakamura against Baron Corbin and Kevin Owens. Talk about a stiff, hard-hitting match. Epic encounters from both men, or excuse me, all four men, I should say, as they were able to just deliver some amazing powerhouse moves and just absolute devastation between all four of them in the ring. It was great stuff to see. Towards the end of the matchup in the ring, Baron Corbin has the end of days blocked by AJ Styles, hits the Pele kick, but gets a blind tag from Kevin Owens. AJ's looking to hit the Styles Clash on the Lone Wolf, but he realizes he's not the legal man, as Owens is able to hit the distraction, throw him off the ropes, and hit the pump-up powerbomb to get the win for him and Baron Corbin. I think this is kind of necessary because, personally, I expect both AJ and Nakamura to get their respective victories against their respective opponents at Battleground, so it makes sense to kind of give the Money in the Bank briefcase winner and Kevin Owens some momentum heading into the pay-per-view. Thoroughly enjoyed this week's SmackDown, as I usually always do. I thought they did a very good job of hyping up Battleground, giving enough time for pretty much every match, and just enough time for everybody to give them just enough importance and relevance heading into Battlegrounds. One of the things I think SmackDown does a little bit better than my Monday night counterpart. I think they do a better job of building up and giving you some importance. Maybe not necessarily a wow of, oh my god, you have to see this must-see TV, but gives you enough reason, some hype heading into the pay-per-view. I thought the tag team match was fantastic. The women's matchup was good. Honestly, the in-ring action this week was very, very solid. Wasn't anything of a wow, oh my god factor, but still did a great job of delivering quality entertainment and definitely getting me excited for Battleground. But that being said, guys, that's just my thoughts. Love to hear what you guys have to say. So make sure to leave your thoughts on this week's SmackDown Live down in the comment section below. Make sure you follow, again, myself and the entire OneWrestling.com family on the social media. Check us out, of course, at OKAYFABE for myself, Big Ray Show, the Big Slam Nation, of course, the legendary, the iconic Mr. Brill at After One Wrestling. Make sure you check us out. Of course, hit that subscribe button right down below. Hit the like button as well, too. If you guys love the SmackDown rebounds, check out, of course, all the news on OneWrestling.com. And, of course, to quote the legendary, the iconic Bill Apter, we will see you at the matches.